Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, back by, we'll call it popular demand, even though we both know that's not true, with some more spoilers from the 40K set. And here's a spoiler for you with how popular it allegedly is and how sold out some of the pre-orders are. They're still pre-ordering singles, or I mean they're offering pre-orders on singles, I should probably say, and very, very few of them, like we're talking like 10 out of 300, are above 10 bucks. I mean, all the decks together ain't that expensive, but I don't know, 10 seems low. It really does. But it's hard to predict the demand on brand new cards, so we'll see what goes up and what goes down. But let's start with Lich Guard, and by the way, we're covering the Necrons. So it's a 3-cost black 2/3 artifact creature Necron, because of course the Necrons are some kind of robot, I guess. I am 100% not kidding when I assure you, I swear to you, I do not know crap about the 40K universe. People are like, oh, to make that joke about that card, you must have known, and it's kind of wink, wink, nod. No, that was an accident. I don't know what the crap I'm talking about. Now that viral as hell video where I reviewed Yu-Gi-Oh cards, let's not talk about how much more I knew than I let on in that video. But 40K, I can name 2 of the factions because there were already 4 spoiler videos. So anyway, Mr. Robo Necron here is Guardian Protocols. You pay 4, you sack it, and you return all legendary cards from your graveyard to your hand. That is pretty darn powerful, especially if you put your commander there tactfully. So I assume they're all like the Terminator and they just rebuild themselves after turning into Mercury. Next up, yes, WotC does this every single time. It's Psychomancer. It's a 2-cost artifact creature Necron wizard, because of course robots are wizards. Of course they can use mana. Why wouldn't they be able to? And he is flying 1/1 and Harbinger of Despair whenever it or another non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard or is put into exile from the battlefield. Target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I'm glad they said from the battlefield, and honestly for 2 this is pretty good. Next up, Trezin the Infinite. Let me guess. He resurrects himself. 6-cost 4/6 legendary artifact creature Necron with Death Touch and Prismatic Gallery. As long as Trezin the Infinite is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all artifact cards in your graveyard. Okay, I've been wrong before. Dude, in paper, digging through all that is just a pain, and doing this in digital if you stacked up 15 of them, also a pain. Nothing is good about this card. Very, very much of a pain to manage. Next up, Out of the Tombs. Let me guess. They resurrect themselves. It's a 3-cost enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, put 2 Eon counters on Out of the Tombs, then mill cards equal to the number of Eon counters on it, and if you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, oh, I hate this, instead return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. If you can't, you lose the game. Okay, it runs out. I mean, it's not Platinum Angel. I'm fine with this. It's still kind of close to Dredge, and I don't like graveyard mechanics, but if that's what they're going to make them do, I've seen worse cards than this. Next up, Cryptek. Of course, the secret robot leader of the Crypts. Who's the leader of the Bloods then in the 40K universe? Your mom. So it's a 4-cost artifact creature Necron wizard, and if you pay 2 and tap it, choose another target artifact creature you control. When that creature dies this turn, return to the battlefield tapped under your control. Ooh. Guys, I'm starting to put it together. I think that the Necrons can rebuild themselves. Next up, we got Illuminor Xeros. Is he related to those Euro-making Tzatziki people or whatever? Well, anyway, he's a 3-cost legendary artifact creature Greek robot Necron. That's a lot of keywords. 3/3 Secrets of the Soul. Well, you don't have one, you're a robot. Tap it and sack another creature. Add an amount of black mana to your mana pool equal to the sacrificed creature's mana value. Okay. That's, like, decent. They should bring that into a standard set. It would be, like, a little much, but you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket. But remember, you can do this at instant speed. You can do this after a blocking assignment in the middle of combat. You can do this in response to them trying to blow up one of your creatures. This is probably my favorite card of the entire set so far. It's just so fun and interesting and good. I love this. I had to check. It's between $4 and $5 online right now. That is a steal. This card is amazing. Next up, Biotransference. Let me guess. Once you're dead, you can rebuild yourself and then transfer your consciousness to something, probably. I don't know what the bio part is, but maybe they're just done being a Necron. They want to do something different. All right. So anyway, it's a 4-cost double black enchantment, and creatures you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. Oh, you're transferring the bio into the robot. Okay. I don't know why I was making assumptions, but okay. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So just a universal, everything on your hand, your stack, your library, everything is now an artifact. That is actually extremely extremely problematic for various reasons. There have been cards like this Spray Painter deck, and I hate them, but that's, you're like turning their stuff into an artifact so that you can blow it up. This one, I mean, just Artifact Affinity, one of the most toxic types of deck archetypes ever, historically, ongoing, in perpetuity. This would enable it pretty hard, but the thing is, you'd have to go get this and then keep it in play. If your entire deck is like, well, it's half artifacts and Artifact Affinity and then like some creatures, but they're not artifacts, but this will turn them into it, how do you go get this? You can't make this your commander. So in Singleton, aka Commander, this is completely pointless. In this deck, I don't get it. The whole deck is already artifacts, so I don't get it. Well, on top of that ability, whenever you cast an artifact spell, you lose 1 life and create a 2/2 black Necron warrior artifact creature token. Okay. Next up, we've got Fragmento do Arauato. I just realized this is Portuguese and not Spanish. You know what? Fine. It's Frank the Pokemon Collector of Noibats. Take my word for it. So it's a triple black +5, so 8 total cost. Catan creature. Ah, yes, the Catan people, famous for their settlers. They're Portuguese settlers that are after the spices because the spice must flow. It's all coming together. So we got Drain Life whenever... Oh, and it's also flying. It's an 8/8. Whenever this card, whatever it is, enters the battlefield, if you cast it, target opponent loses half their life rounded up. Ouch. You gain life equal to life lost this way. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I mean, it costs 8, so, like, good luck, but I mean, this isn't going to stop a life gain deck. It's just going to draw out the game and annoy people. But, man, you fry the person in first place if you get somebody who's at 10 down to, like, 5 and then pass the turn and 2 more people take their turns in front of them. Yeah, you can do some damage with this. I just absolutely love the artwork. I don't know what kind of War of the Worlds crap this is, but I love it. I did not know the Portuguese had eye lasers. We better watch out. They might try and take over the world again. Next up, we got some actual plain old artifacts. It's Canoptic Spider, 5 cost 4/4 artifact creature spider with flying, and fabricate Claw Array. Whenever another non-token artifact creature or vehicle enters your battlefield under your control, draw a card. Oh, that's pretty spicy powerful right there. And this is flying. It's a 4/4. It can block. This is a good card. Next up, Canoptek. I'm pretty sure I said Canoptic. No. Anyway, Canoptek Scarab Swarm. If this even resembles Scoot Swarm, I'm putting my whole desk straight through the window right next to me, the whole thing. I don't care if it's Commander. I don't care if there's technically a Scoot Mob and a Scoot Swarm legal in Commander. I don't want that in my life. I'm having PTSD. I'm having flashbacks. Okay, so 4 cost 1/1, flying feeder mandibles. When Canoptek Scarab Swarm enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. For each artifact or land card exiled this way, create a 1/1 colorless insect artifact creature token with flying, and obviously you can nuke your own graveyard. Okay, that's pretty tame. It doesn't go 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and then Arena Crash. Haha, funny joke, Des. No, I'm not kidding. There's a video on my channel. Look it up. We broke it. We summoned so many Scoot Swarms that it disconnected the server and ended the game in a draw. We also rolled over the memory slot that holds the life total and then made it so the game couldn't complete. Dude, check out those videos of me just beating up Arena with like Cinder Shadow and some other people, man. Holy crap, it was funny. Next up, their number is Legion. Oh, it's a quad black plus X. I don't even care what this is. I love it. Sorcery, which usually means it's too powerful to be an instant. And create X tapped 2/2 black Necron warrior artifact creature tokens. Then you gain life equal to the number of artifacts you control. Ooh. Exile their number is Legion, because if you cast this twice, that would be messed up. And then you may cast their number is Legion from your graveyard. So if you cast it once from anywhere, it's exiled. But if you mill it, you can cast it. Or if they make you discard it. I mean, that's pretty good. I'd almost put a madness cost on it, but then you could self-discard it. That always was the problem. I mean, it's a bunch of 2/2s and it's padded by 4. I don't think this is that great of a spell, but it's kind of interesting. Next up, we got Anrakir the Traveler. And he must not have taken Delta Airlines because he showed up in one piece. Well, it's a shame that in the 40K universe, literally anywhere he goes to is constant war. Everybody in that universe needs to get their crap together. Somebody just win already. Just take over the universe. Anyway, it's a 5-cost legendary artifact creature Necron, 4/4, and Lord of the Pyrean. I'm sure they thought it made it sound exotic. It doesn't help that it's in italics, and for some reason, it's like super low res compared to the others. Like, I literally can't read this. You know, let's go with Pyric, because that word's cool. So, Lord of whatever the hell, whenever Anrakir the Traveler attacks, you may cast an artifact spell from your hand or graveyard by paying life equal to its mana value, rather than paying its mana cost. That's pretty nuts. I mean, this isn't a life gain deck, so you're going to end up hurting yourself pretty good here, but still standalone as a card. This is pretty darn good. Oh, so you pay with your life to travel with him? So he works for Delta Airlines. I was close. So next up, Canoptek Tomb Sentinel. It's a 4-cost 4/3, and he's an artifact creature, insect, big bundle of you shouldn't have been tomb robbing. So Vigilance and Exile Cannon, I love that name. When it enters the battlefield from a graveyard, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent, and then unearth 7. If you pay 7, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step, or if it would leave the battlefield, unearth only as a sorcery. Yeah, no bouncing it back to hand and getting the old duplicate started again. And yeah, 7's steep, but it's kind of like flashback. You get this overpriced last-ditch effort of like, well, I have nothing left in hand, I might as well do something. So, not great, but not bad. Next up, Canoptek Wraith. Well, I don't know what Canoptek stock price is at, but you better invest in them, man. They're building some cool stuff. The little, robot dog that you see running around with, guns mounted on crap on YouTube, that ain't got nothing on this thing. Look at this thing. So it's a 2/1 for 3 artifact creature Wraith with Wraith form, of course, and it can't be blocked. Quite simple. I hate creatures like that. But then there's Transdimensional Scout. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 3 mana and sack it. If you do, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards with the same name as a land you already control, put them onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. Mind you, this is Commander. I'm not sure why they said with the same name. It would almost have to be a basic land or you'll just go fetch 1. I guess that's the trade-off, but that's such an odd way to phrase it, but whatever. Yeah, people are just going to give this a giant sword and just swing for the win. I'm not a fan of this at all. Next up, Chronomancer. He's going to go back in time and rename everything something a little bit more reasonable in the 40k universe. So it's a 2-cost 1/1 artifact creature Necron wizard with flying and atomic transmutation. If you pay 1 and tap it, sack another artifact, draw a card. Nice. And then unearth 3. You know what unearth does? And it's only 3. That is just a solid utility card right there. Next up, Convergence of Dominion. I don't know what that is or what that means, but you know what? Some other faction will probably come in and whatever is going on, they'll blow it up. Welcome to Warhammer. So it's a 3-cost artifact in Dynastic Command Node. As long as you control your commander, activated abilities cards in your graveyard cost 2 less to activate. Ooh. This effect can't reduce the mana in that ability's activation cost to less than 1 mana. Otherwise, you just cast your whole graveyard, yes. And then Translocation Protocols. Pay 3, tap it, mill 3 cards. Oh, Graveyard Feeder. That's good. This is really good in the deck that it's in. Maybe even outside of it. Next up, we got Ghost Arc. How do you have ghosts if you're robots? Okay, I think I solved it. Now hear me out, okay? This faction, the Necrons, this is what happened to the dwarves from Morrowind through Skyrim, okay? They disappeared. We don't know what happened to them. All this teleportation magic, the Traveler, the this, the that, the let's put our souls in robot bodies, or whatever the hell they're up to. It's the dwarves, dude. And then what would a dwarf want? They'd want to be tall and skinny and powerful. Boom, Necrons. Solved it. Head cannon, which is probably also a unit in the Warhammer 40k universe. So anyway, the Ghost Arc full of dead dwarves from the Elder Scrolls is a 4-cost artifact vehicle with flying repair barge. Nice. When it becomes crewed, hey, I wonder if it can resurrect them and rebuild them. I'm starting to have another theory that they do that. Anyway, whenever it becomes crewed, each artifact creature card in your graveyard gains on our 3 until end of turn, and then crew 2. Hey, and then you can hit them because it's a 3/3. Wipe the board, bring it back, wipe the board, bring it back. It's an annoying strategy right now, but hey. Next up, Hexmark Destroyer. It's a 6-cost 6/6 artifact creature Necron with multi-threat eliminator. Nice. Hexmark Destroyer can't be blocked except by 6 or more creatures. What? Well, better get out 100-handed one then. And unearth 6. So this is just going to keep hitting. It's just going to keep ramming into you. My gosh, you better save a kill spell for this thing, and then it has unearth 6, which is the same dang cost as the card initially is. This is annoying. I'm glad this doesn't come out for a while, because, I mean, it's 6. Even in the field of Commander, which is every card ever printed pretty much, this would be considered pretty good. So next up, we got Flayed One. It's a 3-cost 4/1 artifact creature Necron with lifelink. Nice. Flesh Flayer. When Flayed One enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards. Graveyard Feeder, chump blocker, kill something big threat that they don't want to swing into, and then, start loading up the graveyard. That's just good. There's nothing too special, but it works with the deck. Next up, Crypto Thrall. It's a 4-cost 3/3 artifact creature construct with Protector. Other artifact creatures you control have hexproof. Which is weird because if you kill them, they can just get repaired and rebuild themselves. Worse yet, these guys in the artwork keep telling me to invest in crypto. Yeah, the jokes are getting lazier, bite me. Fine, one more, then I gotta split it off into a separate video because I got home late. Tomb Fortress! It's a land, it's a rare, here we go. Tomb Fortress enters the battlefield tapped. Okay, it's already, there goes half the price. 75% of the price. Tap it, add 1 black, cool, and then if you pay 2 + 3 black for 5 total, tap it, exile it, mill 4 cards, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so it's just your standard 5-cost resurrection ability on top of a come-in tapped mono land. I mean, if I was running black, I'd probably play it, but I don't think people are like lining up to buy this. I bet you it's like $4 though. I'm going to check. Very good gifts, $4.49. Oh, I do know this. I sold, probably upwards of $1 million worth of cards when I owned my shop. Well, that's where we're leaving it for today, but my friends did warn me that there are some exceptionally broken cards in specifically the Necron deck, so stay tuned for the second half tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time.